Welcome, duders. It's Sunday morning, and I am here to do a deck building video for you guys. Is this in the way? Let me turn the things off. Okay. Yeah, and so sort of a follow-up to the last video I made. I have all of my cards from the booster boxes opened, and I'm going to basically show you sort of my tips and tricks for when I go to like build a deck, and sort of what I'm thinking basically as I put the thing together. As far as I'm aware, there's not really like a set way to do it. There's no, like, I never heard of any like real strategies or anything like that, and so I mean, we got a billion blue cards, and so it's pretty much that's at least that shows that, like, there's other like colors in the game. So like if you ever play a different set besides the core set, you'll get other cards, but like I got a bunch of blue cards, so, and I've separated it into two piles here. I got all my mana cards here. This is probably like 70 cards, and then I got about maybe 80 or 90 cards here of creatures and stuff. So yeah, like I talked about a lot in the unboxing thing, it's, you know, flying is pretty much going to be one of the essentials in this deck, because we don't want anyone to be able to block us. And what's cool about flying creatures is you can block, if you're a flying creature, you can block flying creatures, you can block sort of normal on the ground creatures. I don't know if there's like digging creatures or not, but you might be able to get those because birds eat worms, I think, so, you know, I guess it depends on the mechanics. But anyway, yeah, so the thing I always start off with building a deck is you just need a bunch of mana. As we know, there's like 4 different kinds, so what I like to do is just pick my favorite one and then use that for every single land, because we got so many of each kind. It's going to be easy to basically have enough. So this is kind of cool. It's a little simple though, so I don't know if I really like this one as like the one I'm going to see every time. This was really nice and sort of tropical vibes. That's probably pretty good in the running. This is pretty interesting because it seems like it almost looks like smoke at first, but then you look at it, it's like a big sort of crag rock thing in the background there. It's got some intrigue to it, so I'd say I put that in the running. And then this one, it's kind of it's got a similar vibe to that last one, but it's got like, I don't know, a little too much going on. I don't really like it, so we're just gonna pass on that. So basically, yeah, let's go ahead and sort. Let's go ahead and just keep sort them all anyway, and then I'll see if I can make a decision about which one I want to do. And it may come down to just how many I need, you know. So I always find that this is like one of them, like sorting cards, I mean, is one of the most relaxing parts of like deck building, because you like seriously have to like sit and think about like strategies and how you could possibly use a set of cards together if you're lucky enough to draw them in a hand. And so like it's a lot of like mental math and mental strategizing and postulating, and like, oh, would this work? How fast can this work? And is it plausible? Is it possible? Is it probable? And without without that, like, you don't have a good deck. But at the same time, too much of that, I feel like you go a little crazy. So the actual like soothing part of deck building is just like the sort of mindless organizing. You just kind of flip through and just go blam, 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 blam. You're not really paying attention too closely. You're just kind of putting the cards where they need to go, getting everything ready and set, and then once you've done the work of figuring out which cards you need to combine, and then when it's time to go, you just go boom. I'm just gonna need to find all the cards I need. So, like I said, basically I want these 2 cards to be the mana I use in my deck. So I'll just put these in one of my boxes here. Set it aside because I don't need it for right now. So, perfect use of the box there. Let's sit it here. Okay, and yeah, really liking this one. Let me see how many I got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So I got 20 there, which is pretty good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 of each. Yeah, let's I don't know, you really don't want to run out of land. Like, you can't just do like 10 lands or something like that. Like, you kind of need a lot of lands. But I feel like 40 lands is probably way too much. Because, you never know. But, so, what I'm going to do is, because I like both these lands a lot, I do want to do some of each. But I'm not really sure how much I need at this point. So, it's going to be anywhere from, I don't know, 15 to like 40. It'll just depend on like what cards I put in. So we're going to keep that there for right now. And we're just going to come over to the other cards and kind of get a feel for how we should be thinking about putting these things together. So I'm first going to separate these into like flying creatures and non-flying creatures, and then sorceries and other things like that, so we can kind of work on them one at a time. Unreal, man. Yeah, flying, other things. So okay, lots of stuff here, lots of stuff, lots of things. Yeah, like, the best way I think to do it is again, this goes back to like the sorting kind of relaxing part of the game. It's like you basically put all the you figure out a way to sort it so that it works for you, best for your deck building, and then you kind of just put everything in their spot, and then you just kind of mindly go through it. Flying, non-flying, non-freaking flying. Yeah, and then this will get easier because we got so many of the same cards. It's just going to be like flying through it. So, flying through it. That's a joke, right? I wish it was. The problem is, like, you get a bunch of flying cards, that's great and everything, but then, non-flying cards have their advantages too. Like, flying obviously is, like, crazy. Seems it's probably gonna be pretty broken, especially the way I'm gonna use it. Like, I'm just gonna be putting like the hurt on all my friends. But like, I mean, even when you're not playing flying, like there's still good decks. Like if it's like if no one's playing a flying deck because it's like so, like it's just like those are the rules. Like you can't go to a tournament and play a flying deck, or whatever. Like it just makes sense that like the other cards are going to need to have some goodness to them, have some possible strategy for it. So But that's not what we're here to do. We're here to do pretty much a brutal broken deck where you can't beat it. And now that we got these all together, let's go ahead and sort them into the different kinds. There's not that many different creatures that I had that were flying, so it'll just be easy to kind of quickly see how many of each thing I got is anyway. So yeah, we're already back to the start. So there's only 7 different flying creatures, but that's going to be perfect for us because we really don't need anything else, according to Wizards of the Coast. Once you decided you're playing a flying deck, you get 7 creatures to choose from. So not a lot to choose from, obviously, but you know, there is a little bit to like just the way they dumb down the game like that. You know, it's for like all the people who just like they can't really understand like high level strategies. You know, like they just make it way easier for everybody. It's just kind of like ruins the game for like veteran players, I think. Like I can't imagine like I don't know, someone must have like really lucked into like a tournament win, and then they got to be like the person who helps design the games and stuff and like strategize, and they were like, why don't we just like I don't know, why don't we just like go and make the game like way easier so it's like more people will buy it. I guess that's like what core means, like in the core set, like they're just trying to reach like the core of like players, more like they're trying to like make everybody feel like it's a core, so they call it the core set. Like they're like, oh, you're the core player because you're like the important guy who knows how to. But if you like, all you're doing is buying core set packs and like you just get the same cards. I don't know. It's just, like, it just seems kind of weird. Like they could be putting more effort into like, even if you just get like different game designer like people, like you could probably like get people to help out and create more dynamics. But you know, I mean, flying is pretty good anyway, so I don't know. I probably shouldn't be complaining. I did get like some sweet cards, so yeah. So here's what we got for flying. I mean, all of these should pretty much go in. We just need to count how many I got. So I think, what did I get? 3 in times 5. So I got 15 of these guys, and they don't cost very much, and they do a pretty good amount of damage for that fact. So I'm probably gonna put a good amount of these guys in my deck. I'm gonna do 7, and I'm gonna tell you why. I don't want to go crazy, but I was thinking, like, if I ever ended up where, like, somewhere late in the game, I end up with 7 cards and they're all Windrakes, that seems pretty cool. So, and this is a great start for, like, putting the deck together. So that way, like, I can just kind of say, like, look, this is what I got so far. So, we're going to go ahead and put, like, the excess flying creatures in this box that I don't use. Then going to the rare cards, these are like typically the better cards. Like, it's just gonna be difficult for people to kind of respond when you're playing the rare ones. Like, there's a reason why you only get 1 in a pack. So for that, then, like, that's like the only good thing about getting like the same stuff in the pack. Like, it's like when you know you're getting like the good cards, like you'll at least know that you're getting the good cards. So I'm probably gonna put all those in. I like the the Storm Owl because it really doesn't cost that much at all. But at the same time, it doesn't really do a whole lot. So I'm going to put a couple of those in. We can pass on the rest of him. Now it gets down to, okay, so we've got some small fries, some medium fries, and then the big guns. Now we gotta kind of round it out with the sort of regular dude cards that are going to be the ones that they're either like they don't cost as much as like the big guns, but which is good obviously, but and so they don't hit as hard, but they also have like sort of like mental tricks that they can pull on you. So we're going to look at those and sort of add these in. Like, for example, when Avon Fisher is put into a graveyard from play, you may draw a card. On the surface of it, it seems like this is a pretty good card because you get to draw a card, but it's only when it removes from play to the graveyard, which means this is going to have to basically be killed or destroyed from like someone's spell card, and that means you'll draw a card, which is good, but you have to be killing off this card all the time. So I'm only going to put one of those guys in there because I don't want to be destroying all my monsters just so I can draw cards. Here's another flying dude. It's 2/4. Costs 4. Love the look of him, you know. I think again, he's flying. He's a good strong dude. He's basically double of the Storm Owl, so I think I should probably put double of that in there. So I'm going to do 4. Him. Coming to the Thieving Magpie here. Flying. Whenever Thieving Magpie deals damage to an opponent, you draw a card. And see, this is a good card because it's different than the Avon Fisher, where it, like when it dies, you get a card like this every time you like get a successful hit on your opponent. You get to draw a card. So I'm gonna go way over and get 3 in there, because especially if you start like. Now I'm gonna put 5, because especially when you start hitting with these guys, you can just start like owning your deck basically. Like the whole library's in your hand. Like that's unreal. So if you can get like a whole handful of those, you know, I'd say go for it. And then finally for flying, we have player reveals the top card of his or her library. This doesn't really seem super useful because even though you reveal a card, you don't actually draw it, and it costs you 2 to do so. And this dude costs 5 to cast, and he's only a 3/3. So I'm gonna pass on this, even though he's a flying creature and everything. It's like 3/3 gets good damage because you can do 7 turns with this one dude from the time you cast him out there. That you can just keep banging away at the life force of your friend. But you know, it's not gonna really do much for me if it's gonna take a long time to get him out there. You know, it takes 5 turns to get 5 mana, and then on top of that you've got 7 turns. So like, what am I gonna wait 12 turns just to kill my friend? Like, it's not gonna work. So unless you're playing Black Lotus, you know, get a better card. I guess we'll finish out like the creature cards, because there's not that many, so, and we can just kind of sort them all real quick. So these are the flying creatures. We'll go ahead and box that up. Set them to the side here. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So there's only like 3 non-flying creatures they gave us in the core set. Like, that's pretty good. Not. Yeah. Need some horn turtle shit. Yeah. Tier thing. So again, yeah. We got 15 of these dudes. Hilarious. Like, we don't even need this many. Like, I don't even know if I may use 1 because he's got. I'm gonna put 4 of these guys in because I need a new box. I'm gonna put 4 dudes in there because what I want to do is send like a message of, hey, I've got basically a wall here where if you even attempt to attack me, I'm just gonna block block, block, block all day long. You can't stop me. You know what I need? I need an extra one. Because if 20 damage is flying my way, I can block all of it. Because otherwise I'm going to get killed. So, yeah. We're doing 5. It's my horn turtle wall. It's a good wall. It's a good move. That's a pretty good strategy, actually. And so for the Archivist, again, we got 5, I believe. Yeah, 5 of the rare cards. Every time this card taps, you draw a card. Can't go wrong. So all of those are going in. And then finally, we have a Puppeteer, where you can tap or untap a target creature. As you're tapping this card and you pay a thing, you can like untap other cards, and you know, you get to use them later for other stuff. So I could see having a couple of these being useful, but at a certain point, like, you're gonna run out of islands. But it depends on how many islands. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put 2 in to start, and then we're gonna put 3 on the side. We're gonna just go ahead and close this box up and say, alright, what are we gonna do with these? Depending on, if we put all these islands in, I think that we could probably put the rest of these Puppeteers in, because having all the extras is going to be important for that. Having all the extra islands, I mean, is going to be important for the extra Puppeteers. So, so finally, we can move on to the last section of the deck build, which is going to be putting in the sorceries and such. Bunch of boomerangs. It's going to be sweet. Can you see all those? Yeah. Let's slide these over. Yeah. Again, take this time to really relax and have fun. You know, you don't even just have to have fun playing the game. You can have fun, obviously, in other ways. And this is, I'm telling you, it's such a relaxing thing. You can have, you know, like, build your deck list, write it out on a thing. Kind of do what I'm doing, where it's like you just kind of look at your cards on the floor and write down like what you want to put in, and then just go through your cards if they're all shuffled up. You know, just kind of put them into the right order. Kind of, yeah, not order. I mean, like. Categorize them like this, and then, you know, put all your duplicates in one spot and that kind of thing, and then basically you'll be ready to go instantly when you have your deck list written and you're ready to go. You're ready to go to put the deck together. So here's the deck, and let's continue. So what I really wanted to see, I like this one a lot, because Confiscate, like, you can like take your opponent's you take control of their cards, so all of those got to go in. That's an important card. That's going to be pretty pivotal, I think. Knowing what your opponent has is going to be pretty important, so all the telepathies are going to have to go in. And these are great because it's only 1 mana. You can just start it right off the bat, first hand, you know. Let's see here. We don't really need any of these because, you know, it's pretty rare that this is going to actually be helpful for you. You know, needing people to pay 3 in order to avoid. It's just like, it's super easy to get 3 mana. You know, late in the game, this isn't going to be a useful card, so we're just going to pass on those. Kind of weird card in general, but it only works early in the game, so, you know, it just seems a little unlikely to have. You know what? We'll put 1 in because, again, like, if you're lucky enough to pull it on the early game, then it actually could be helpful. So, but yeah, like, overload the deck with 3 of these or anything like that. It's just going to be insane. Like you're just wasting space in the deck. Counter target creature spell. I think they say it's like anywhere from 2 to 3/5.
I'm listening.
Oh, go away, Siri. Okay. So, yeah, what they say when you're doing a deck is anywhere from 2 to 3/5 of the deck should be creatures. So I'm going to do that for blocking creatures. I'm going to have 3/5 of it. I mean, be the cards I block. I mean, yeah, cards like I counter that are creatures. Okay. Sleight of hand. Look at the top 2 cards of your library. Put one of them on your hand, the other at the bottom of your library. This is a tough one because as you've seen, like, we have a lot of really good cards in our deck, and especially flying cards. And I would really hate to use this card and see like 2 good flying creatures come up, and then you have to sacrifice one at the bottom of the deck. You know, you'll never. You know, when it's at the bottom of the library, it's never gonna come back. Like, I don't have any cards that can search the deck, so basically getting to the bottom of the deck, it means it's practically out of the game. So, like, I don't want to have to put any of my cards, even though you get a card, I mean, in your hand and then at the bottom, like, you're losing a card too. So, this is where it begins to be like a little frustrating because you're like, I don't know if I want to use it. Like, it's such a risk. It's almost not worth it. But I'm gonna put 1 in, just because. Now I'm gonna put 2 in. I'm gonna put 2, and here's why. When I'm playing if I have this in my hand and I play it, I can at least hope that I get this in my hand again and another card, so I know that I can just put this at the bottom, don't have to worry about it, and then I get this card for free. So, and it only costs 1 mana to run, so that's pretty good. Yeah, we'll just put that in order for now. Okay. Let's finish up the sorceries here, or the instants, I mean. Whatever, the spells that are not creatures. Yeah, return target permanent to its owner's hand. So, like we said before, we did 3/5 is creatures. So the other 2/5 would be 4 out of 10. Yeah, so 2/5, 4 of these go on the deck for the rest. Because it's not gonna. You don't counter the spell and then it's destroyed. It just goes back to its owner's hand. But that buys you some time. So buys you some time. Now on to the artifacts. So whenever a player plays a blue spell, you may gain 1 life. I mean, just imagine having 5 of these out here. You're gaining 5 life every time. So those are all going in. They have to. And then finally, Rod of Ruin deals 1 damage to target creature or player. It costs 4 and then 3 to activate, and you tap this as well. So it deals 1 damage. Rod of Ruin. Again, I'm kind of risking it here. I'm going to put 1 in. This seems a little too low, whatever. Like, it's not like you're not really like doing a ton of damage. So, right, we ended up with a lot of cards here. Turns out the core set has a pretty good, like, they're good cards. So, like, you need them in your deck. It's only going to make sense to, whoops, I threw that. That was a cool card trick. Basically, it's you know, it's going to be important to have enough mana. So I think that the sort of rule of thumb is you kind of want it to be like, if you were to shuffle these, you'd have a good amount of you'd have a good amount of like spread. So you basically want a little more than half, and I think we basically perfectly did it. Like, that's one thing about Magic, it's like it kind of all comes together when you're really thinking about how to put the decks together. So we have, as you can, I don't know if you can see that, the land here on the right, it's a little more than about half of the creature cards and the sorcery instant things, and some of the artifacts and stuff. So we're gonna put all 40 mana in here, and because of that, I'm gonna go ahead and add the rest of the puppeteers, because I was like, you know, I'll have enough mana at that point, but not enough for like all the ruin or the rods of ruin and stuff. So you know, it just doesn't make any sense to have it for that, because I don't think I have enough. I'd have to add more of the other islands in it to make this deck work, I think. But yeah, so here's my deck, and I'm excited to play with my friends. Thank you for watching Weird Cards, and I'll see you guys next time. Okay, hey guys, one thing I forgot to mention was I knew there was some, I forgot the amount of cards you can have in one deck is 4 max, besides islands. So I had to look it up, because I wasn't sure if there was a max, and then I looked it up, and then so basically all you'll have to do is pull out any of the cards that are duplicates, or not duplicates, but any of the ones that are over 4. So if that, like, what did I put? Like a bunch of 7 drakes, and so I'll just pull 3 of those out, and any of the ones that are over 4, I'll pull out 1, or enough, so it's down to 4. So then it basically will just cap all the cards at 4, and then for the rest of the deck, I'll just sort of get the right proportion of islands. Alright, guys, see ya. Okay, guys, and so I also looked up something else too. I realized that, or when I was looking up how many cards you can have in of one card you can have in a deck, it said that you can only have 4 of a specific kind. So I figured that out. I told you. But then I also realized there was some other info on that page that said you can only have 60 cards in a deck. So I think I have a little bit more than that. So just pull out any extra cards that you don't need. Any like risky cards or whatever, just get rid of those. You know, any like weird sort of strategy thing where it's like a 1 in a million, if you draw those cards, then basically you'll win. But you know, most of the time that's never gonna happen. Like, just get rid of those. That's not gonna work. So yeah, just go down to 60 cards, and yeah, you'll be good. Good luck playing, guys. See you later. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 32, 33. Okay. 34, 35. Alright guys, so now I'm down to my 60 card deck, and I'm ready to play. Thanks.